Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And today we're taking a look at Northgard Uncharted lands, designed by Studio H and published by Hachette here in the United States.
Yeah, so Northgard is a 4X game, but it can be played in an hour and a half, and it is based on the widely popular video game Northgard, and it is insanely accurate to that gameplay. So if that's like something you might want to play, then just keep watching.
Alrighty, so Northgard is a 4X board game where you
What is 4X?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. 4X is explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate.
Always in that order?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, with the X's. Okay. So basically it means you're gonna like take some dudes out, you're gonna like exploit the land, and then you're gonna like exterminate your foes. So that's pretty much what it means.
Okay.
In Northgard, what you were trying to do is be the Viking clan that rises to fame, carving out your like little corner of the Northgard land. Yes, Northgard land. The way that you do this is basically you're going to explore these tiles that is going to send you out to different lands. Then you're going to exploit the land for wood and like lumber and food and lore. You're going to be carving into stones the history of your people, which is the tech in this game, how you upgrade your cards. And then you're going to be like fighting the other Vikings. There's going to be creatures coming out of dens. You got wolves attacking you and Drogers and Valkyrie and all these fun critters. And yeah, so basically eventually you're going to try to be the most powerful Viking clan out there. So you're going to do that mostly by controlling a lot of land, winning a lot of battles, that sort of stuff.
Now, like I said in the intro, this is based on that video game, and Jonathan, being the dedicated person he is to all of you guys out there, I don't know if it was your intention, but he actually played the entire game, right?
I had played a couple missions before, but I would have never played the entire campaign if it weren't for this board game.
You were motivated,
I was
but
very
you
motivated.
actually ended up enjoying the video game.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love the video game. It's just, don't have as much time anymore for stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically in the game, there's these various clans that all like come together to like survive this great winter and everything. And so you get to play as those different clans. You can be the goat clan. You can be the goats of the goat. They're great. You can be the stag clan.
I like
you can be the ravens. They're really cool. But that's going to give you some asymmetric powers. And then you're going to be given a starting hand of these like default cards. So that's going to let you do things like explore, build buildings. The buildings are going to give you tons of different things, like being able to produce more resources, but also being able to recruit more people from a training camp, and being able to have like defense towers, which means you're going to have a defensive advantage when people come in to attack you in your lands. And then you're also going to be able to basically move and go and attack people and explore around the world. Now, this game is going to take place over either 7 or 10 years, based on if you're playing extended play. And every winter, you're going to have to feed all of your people, so you're going to have to make sure you have all the resources for that. And the first person to pass every season is going to have first pick at some cards that you're going to be adding to your deck. And so they're going to go right on the top, so you'll get them next round. And you're going to be building up your deck over these 7 rounds to have more cards.
I like that mechanic because usually when you, in a deck builder type game, that card goes to the bottom of your discard or on the top of your discard, so you aren't getting that until you go through all your other cards. So I like that I'm guaranteed whatever I pick, I'm going to immediately draw it into my hand for the next round. Yes.
It also rewards ending the season early if you really want a specific card. So it's really cool. Yeah. And so basically, you're going to be playing cards. And then you have ways to cycle through your deck. You have ways to upgrade your deck with these clan upgrade cards, which are these unique cards to you that are going to give you some extra powers in addition to that. So you're going to use your lore that you're generating to be able to do that. It's all very thematic, very similar to the video game in a lot of ways, but just sharp mechanics.
Yeah, and I actually played the tutorial mission for the video game. I'm not a huge video game player, but I did play the tutorial mission, and I can validate all of the actions in the board game correlate with the video game, and I actually did enjoy it.
Yeah.
They simplify some things in the actions, but if you look at the board and the detail, it is bringing out those different actions that you do.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like food is just represented as food, but they show the fields and they show the fishing, ponds and stuff on the board.
Yeah.
Details are very nice.
So a big part of this game is area control. So once you feed everyone and you've built up your land, you're gonna go and try and conquer other people's land. And typically I am not a huge area control person. So for those people, those people that like are a huge area control person, that is a big part of this game. I'm not a big fan of, I work really hard to get all my stuff, and then Jonathan just comes in from out of nowhere and takes all my stuff. Yeah. So,
I do like to do that.
The game does play quickly, so you don't feel those burns as if it was a longer period of game. It was a longer game, and you lose everything because the seasons move so fast and you can build things up. You don't feel the same quite as much of a burn, I would say.
I feel like we're pretty season 4X. I mean, we've got Twilight Imperium right here. Like, that's the super, super long version of this where you play for like 6 hours. And this is like hour and a half. Every turn lasts like less than 30 seconds, and it's just like, I do this, your turn.
So it is one of those games where you aren't going to do it, because it is shorter than like a typical 4X game. You won't maybe get to do everything that you wanted to do or thought, so you do have to plan. It's a different mindset, because you won't get to do that slow take over everyone. Like, you have to build really quickly and then take over quickly. Otherwise, you're going to run out of seasons. So it's who can think the fastest and plan the fastest.
And there are different strategies. Some people are just going to explore and just make their own lands for themselves. Some people are going to go take other people's stuff, like I do. And then you can, there's the Altar of the Kings. There's this building you can build that produces points. So there's all these different strategies. I think the coolest strategy that I really enjoy messing with is that some territories have rough terrain, so it takes 2 movement to get over them. I will purposefully wall myself off against my like really scary neighbors, and then I'll just like attack my other neighbors. So you can do some cool stuff with like how you build the territories, which is pretty fun.
Because I really enjoy the explore action, because I enjoy games where I get to basically build my own map, kind of like Carcassonne, like where you draw out those tiles and then you get to decide how it builds out. Because I think it changes up the game every time on how that map is going to look.
Yeah.
So I want to dive into, there's a, overall we think the gameplay is great, but Jonathan had some troubles with the rule book, specifically that it was causing you to feel, so we have the base game, but you said specifically the rule book made you feel like it gave you a lot of FOMO.
Unnecessarily, for sure. So I love this game. I've had a lot of fun with it. I will absolutely play it more. But one thing that really just frustrated me was when you're reading the rule book, it's a sort of comprehensive rulebook that talks about a lot of things that would be in the expansions if you got them, or the Kickstarter edition if you got it. And so like there's the War Chiefs expansion, and there's the I forget, the Wilderness one with the critters and stuff where you get dragons and things. But it says, remove all of the cards that match this. There are several of them. This is one of them. Well, if you just have the base game, there's only one of them. There's the one that comes in the base game. Well,
you'd only have the base game right now in the end of 2022, if you'd only have those expansions
unless
if
you
back the Kickstarter, because those aren't even available to retail yet.
So those will be available. You will be able to add them later. But there were other things too, like if you have the Kickstarter, because we've also played somebody else's Kickstarter deluxe edition of everything, so they had a nice player board that had the whole action summary, the season summary, their clan powers, all like listed on there. And if you have the base game, you get your clan power card, which has a semi-detailed version. It's not enough detail. You have to look at the rulebook to remember what your clan powers are. But there's no action summary card. I ended up printing out our own because I missed having that action summary, because I just like looking through 4 pages of the detailed versions of the actions to remember what all the actions I could do were. And so I just don't think that they could have made like 4 cards that had action and season summaries on them, and it would have made up for the lack of those player boards.
So, yes, because what I think, like if you are going to have, I think a Kickstarter edition or an expansion or stuff like that, when you have those added on things, that should just enhance the game, but the base game should very much still be ease of playing. It shouldn't make it more complicated to play.
It felt more difficult because I was missing components.
Yes, and like it shouldn't cause you to have to like reference the rule book more times than necessary. So, but the models that you get in the base game are beautiful. Like fabulous. You get a lot of models. You get more in the Kickstarter edition, but like you get in the expansions, but you get a lot of really beautiful models.
Really gorgeous. Here. I love the wolves. They all look so. It's a fun style. It's cartoony-ish, but in a way that feels good. Like I actually think that models that look more serious than this, like zombies with flesh coming off their face, I don't think they look as cool because it's a game. Like I don't need that much detail.
I think the art in this is gorgeous. It's really nice, and fantastic. The dice is nice with like the skulls and the axes. It's nice.
I like those a lot.
So one thing. So what is this MRSP? What is it costing?
MSRP is like I think that it's 90, but I've seen it never more than 70. Most places it's in the 60s.
Okay, so for what you know, would you say the base game is worth that price?
Yeah, with how much minis cost now, how big the box is, the insert, the cards, absolutely. There's a lot of replayability in here because you're going to go through about 30 cards and they put about like 100 cards in here if you're playing like a big player game. So I think they give you a lot to play with.
And I also think it's fun that it's a Viking theme because for some reason you don't see a lot of Viking games out there. Like it's a...
And I finally got a good use for my game toppers. We have a game toppers mat. Game toppers are an incredible brand of game mats that you can put on your table, and we have a Viking themed one. And I like putting the little people on the boats, like sailing towards the island. It's so much fun.
It's fun. Yeah. So, any other thoughts about Northgard that you want to add on to this?
Yeah, I think the graphic design, like we said, is really fantastic. It's really clear. The rulebook itself, while I said there was some FOMO, also it teaches the game very clearly. It was such a fast teach for me to go through and be like, oh, yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
The combat mechanics, we didn't talk about it much, but it is very fun. So basically each player gets a die, which gives you a little bit of a modifier. It causes some casualties. Now your strength is going to be based on the number of Vikings you sent in, but it's also, you can add apples to, you can add some of your food supply to make them well fed.
True.
In the video game, if your characters are well fed, they're stronger. So it's the same sort of mechanic.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So overall, our conclusion with Northgard is if you want to play a 4X and you want to have that 4X experience in a shorter amount of time, I think you're going to really enjoy Northgard. So we'll leave a link below where you can go and find this. And the retail expansions will be coming out next year, so maybe we'll get to cover those as well, which that would be a lot of fun. But let us know down below what's your favorite 4X game, and because I'd love to get my belt. Jonathan's played Twilight Imperium. I haven't had a chance yet. I'm looking forward to my play. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know whenever we put out a new video. And we'll see you next time.
Happy playing!